Hello, my culinary skills and techniques peeps. Welcome to week 8. Before we get started, how was braising your tender and tough vegetables this past week?
Really easy.
Good.
Cooked collard greens so many times in my life, so very easy.
Outstanding.
So
Good, thank you. And Sabra says she loved it. Did anybody have an aha moment? Everybody's tired this week? Yeah, is that what's going on? I won't push you too hard. I know what it's like. Karen said it was just the greens and cabbage, no challenge. Right on, right on. Josh said it was interesting, but he wasn't a fan of it. And sometimes cooking them individually, it works better when you throw a pork chop on that plate. Makes it all taste better. Just saying. All right. Well, then let's review a little bit. What's the formula to make a great braise?
Acid.
Acid, and what else?
Time.
Plus time. Right on, Jose. Right on. Okay, so acid plus time. Right on. And what's the best way to cook the braise? On top of the stove or in the oven? Oven works really, really well, although you could do on top of the oven if you needed to, on top of the stove if you needed to. Great. Okay, guys. So you guys are doing braising part 2 in this week 8. So you guys are going to be working with proteins. The best type of protein has lots of sinew and lots of fat, meaning it's a really tough piece of meat. So what do you think, we start talking about proteins, what do you think the best proteins would be to braise? Name me parts of animals you think could be braised.
cow.
What kind of cow?
Well, I get oxtails.
Oxtail. Oxtail is brilliant. Great. Karen just put roast. Kelly just put ribs. Karen said venison, although what part of the venison, Karen? Oh gosh, no, not a tenderloin, Josh. That just makes my heart cry.
You need the toughest part of the meat.
Yeah, you need tough, but a shank, my goodness, yes. So let's think about this. I want you guys to visualize a cow out in the field eating. So what's being used an awful lot? Is the head being used an awful lot? What about the cheeks? They're chewing a lot, right? So that muscle's getting worked. The jaw, also the tongue. The tongue would get braised. What about the neck? Is that neck getting moved a lot? Yep, that neck gets moved a lot. And then you've got the roast area. Oh, the brisket would be good. The roast all the way down to the legs. This area here, all 4 areas, it gets used a lot. And then as Yolanda said, that tail is always moving. So that's going to be very tough. So parts of the animal that get moved around a lot, those are the tough parts. So those are the ones that braise brilliantly. And can anybody remember what it's called? What the acid does to the protein?
Tenderize it.
Tenderizes it. Great. There's a different phrase, but that's absolutely perfect. So it denatures the protein and it softens all the tough bits. So that's why you need the acid plus the time, meaning it takes time. How hot do you think the oven should be for a braise? Nice group of people here tonight. Hi, everybody. Karen put 300 to 350. Kelly's put 250 to 325. What do you think? What do you guys think? Magdalena put 300. Josh put 3 1/4.
Wouldn't it depend on what kind of meat you're using, like if it was really tough and how long it was cooking?
Well, to answer your question, no, things get done when they get done. But a little bit of me trying to push you on thinking about what the heat does. So I've got the liquid on the stove and I've got it up to a simmer, right? A nice little plop, plop. I put the lid on it and then I shove it into the oven. What is the temperature doing? I'm going to mute somebody, sorry. So what is happening to that temperature? How is it affecting the food? If the temperature is 3 1/4, does it change the temperature inside the pot?
Yes.
How?
The heat is going inside the container.
Okay. So let's take it a step back. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure we got you guys thinking. If liquid is boiling and we are at normal sea level, at sea level, what temperature does everybody, I'll get with you in a second, Josh. What temperature does liquid boil at?
212.
That's right, 212. If you're up at altitude, it goes lower, but it's 212. So if my oven is at 325 degrees, but there's liquid inside the pot, what's the maximum temperature that liquid can get?
212.
212. So guys, I could have the oven at 400 degrees, but the stuff in the pot is going to stay at 212. Here's the gig. The higher the temperature, the faster it, I know, right? The faster it evaporates. If you lower the temperature between 250 and 3 1/4, the evaporation is slow enough that it allows the acid and the liquid to soften your meat. If it reduces down too fast, you don't have time. So that's why you use the lower temperatures. Remember long ago I said you have to learn control, courage, and curiosity? Well, this is you guys learning control. You've got to make sure you have control over that temperature and then what you do to that meat so that you get that beautiful, luscious, tender braise. Josh asked if you could use the crock pot. Yes, you may. That's an absolutely beautiful way to control the process because it's got radiant heat. Keeps everything hot all the way around. All right, so let's start off with the process. There are 2 types of meat braising. There's a white braise and there's a brown braise. I'll show you photos of the white braise. You want to do a white braise, perfectly fine. Oh, Virginia says, what temp do you suggest for 8,000 feet? That's where I live, Virginia, and this is what I'm going to tell you, around 300. 275 to 300. Altitude. It's still going to take you longer, and you're going to have to add more liquid because evaporation occurs faster at altitude. All right, for a brown braise, you take your meat, dry it off. You may or may not dredge it in flour and season it, stuff like that. You may season it, but you can also dredge, or you don't have to. Shake off the excess. It goes into the oil and you brown all sides. Pull it out. You then caramelize your onions, your carrots, your celery, known as?
Mirepoix.
Thank you, right on, mirepoix. Now here's a secret. Tomato paste. Tomato paste is an acid. When it comes out of the jar, it is loaded with sugars. If you throw a teaspoon, a couple of teaspoons in the pot after you've gotten some great color on that turn the heat down, stir that tomato paste until it starts to caramelize. You get those sugars all wonderful and luscious. You will add another depth of flavor to your dish. But it basically goes from that bright tomato paste red to a rusty brown. And it's on a low temperature, and you just stir it. Michelle asked if you can do a stew. You may do a stew, Michelle. It's still sort of the same idea. You still have to brown. You still have to do your mirepoix, get some color on that. And this dish is all about the browning. Once you've gotten your caramelization, it's called pincer. I'm going to spell it for you guys. P-I-N-C-E-R, pincer. You then deglaze. Deglaze, red wine, brandy. Julia Child's Boeuf Bourguignon is perfect for this whole process. All right? Once you do that, you deglaze. If you're using the stew meat, you then add enough stock to go all the way and cover. If you are braising ribs, shank, etc., you have enough liquid to go halfway up that meat. Add your seasoning, bring up to a simmer, cover, into the oven. About halfway through, you need to turn that meat over if you are braising a big piece of meat. Turn it over. Okay. It comes out. Everything's falling off the bone, beautiful. Hang on, Karen. Pull the meat out, put it on a platter, and then you take your sauce, whatever the liquid that you worked in, that becomes your sauce. You can strain it and reduce it and get a thick sauce through reduction. You can strain it and thicken it with a roux or cornstarch, etc. Or you guys can actually burrs up the vegetables and add it back then, and that's the thickener for the sauce. So you have three ways. Always, 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 the braising liquid is the sauce. Always. Adjust seasoning, and then you guys can make a complete plate. Typically, this is a very rustic dish, so a rustic vegetable would work great. And first question, we've got Karen Moss. You're on, Karen.
Okay, when you were talking about simmer it and then put it into the oven,
yeah.
Some dishes say it's okay to just cover it with a lid. Other dishes say it's best to cover it with foil. What's your take on that?
Okay, well, if my lid is loose, then I'll do both foil and a lid. You want a tight fit because you want the steam to go like this. You don't want the steam to go like that. The faster it evaporates, the quicker that liquid goes down, and you could burn your braise. And trust me, that burnt braising sauce is horrible.
Yeah.
I've done it. Also, it's horrible to clean up.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. Who else has a question?
Stella. Stella. Stella.
Hello? Michelle, do you have a friend on there? I'm going to mute you. There you go. Who else has a question? Well, let's talk about why you would want to braise in the restaurant. What's the point? Why should I take this much time to do a braise? No worries. I love children. Frees up to do other things because it's cooking in the oven, you mean, Karen? So while it's cooking, I can do something else. Outstanding. What about from a chef perspective? Why would it be a great idea to do a braise?
Tender meat or a cheap quality meat.
Right? You use cheaper cuts of meat. The cheaper cuts of meat end up costing less. Outstanding. How much do you guys, tough scraps, because you can stock in the walk-in and it's easy to reheat. Okay, hang on. That's a great point, Chef Mark. So you've got the cheaper cuts of meat, guys. If I go into a restaurant and I order a braised item, how much do you guys think I end up selling that for? Or how much do you think I have to buy it for? Braised pork cheeks, very hip item right now. How much do you think that would cost me as an entree? No idea. Karen's going, I have no idea. How does $18 sound?
Are you talking about from a food service expense, like as a customer or as a chef?
As a customer, how much would I be paying for that? Braised pork cheeks on risotto.
Like 22, 23.
Yeah, depending where you are, 18 to 24 bucks.
Yeah.
How much do you think that thing cost you to make?
Like nothing.
$2. $2. So not a lot of people braise in this world, and when they see a braised item on the menu, a couple things happen. They go like this. Oh my God, I am in heaven. They've got pork cheeks. And then they're willing to pay anything. So a braised item from a chef standpoint, easy to manage, good use of equipment so people can do other things, holds well, and then I can make a great profit off of it. So there you go. Karen said something, same braise as sauce, no new sauce. What do you mean, Karen?
Some things you have to make a different sauce. This is a one-time deal.
Yeah, this one-time deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chef Mark basically said, hey, it holds in the walk-in. So let me tell you how we do braises in the restaurant. The day before we make the braise, and then we put it in the walk-in, and we let it sit overnight. And then the next day we go into the walk-in, and we pull off the fat. And we can use that fat for something else. Then we're able to make our sauce and do all that stuff. And I certainly would recommend that for you guys. Make the braise the day before, put it in the fridge, then have that wonderful fat that you can use for something else. Finish your sauce, reheat up your braise, and you're good to go.
Could you use the fat for like as a schmaltz, like for matzo balls?
Oh my God, yeah.
Cool.
Except for don't make matzo balls with the pork schmaltz, because that is not good. All of a sudden I went, I see a problem here. So there's that. Also, 24 hours of sitting in the fridge, guys, those flavors become really sexy. And that's sort of what we do in this business is we want people to go, oh my God, I just put the most fantastic thing in my mouth. And that was taste the difference between fresh made and then 24 hours on that braise. And you guys are just going to be, wow, what a difference. What a difference. Okay. Nice questions, guys. Are you guys excited about doing your braise? Good. I'm going to show you guys a couple of photos. You remember when I mentioned a white brace? All right. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Is it right here? Backwards? Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? Okay, a white braise. Typically done with chicken. You still add a small amount of browning. Get a little bit of GBD on the chicken. Notice the skin is still on because that's part of your flavor profile. Typically, the mirepoix is just onions, maybe celery. Notice the beautiful little herb packet here for their the herbs that go in there. And then you're going to notice the fat, white wine or lemon juice, and then cream.
Could you use turnips?
Yep, turnips would be great. This is just a different take on it. I do not expect you guys to do this. I just wanted you to know about it. So that's that version. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to start showing you guys some photos. Now, your braise is rustic. We are not expecting high art on your plating. What we would like you to do is sort of say, okay, hungry man meal, how would I do this? What would my portion sizes be? So these are the pork cheeks or beef cheeks, one or the other. A big old creamy mashed potatoes, and here's the sauce. I will point out a couple of things to you. They did not defat the sauce, nor did they thicken it. So this is too thin. But overall, you get an idea of what's going on. Somebody asked me a question. If somebody's going to have to keep an eye on the questions, that plating doesn't have to be artsy. I know, right? I hear you. Well, with this one, she and I both agree we're looking at it being this, we want it to be restaurant quality, but it still needs to have a certain amount of rusticness to it. Let's see, who else asked me something? All the long cooking process, stewing, braising, cassoulet are usually, they do the day before. Ooh, we should talk about cassoulet. Chef, can you find a photo of cassoulet while I talk?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Here's the next one. So I can't remember what this is, but I'm going to say to you another braised item. Notice they have capers in their sauce, and it's on a bed of pasta that actually has been tossed with a little bit of the sauce as well. Braised pork belly. Braised pork belly. If you guys want to go kind of Asian, right? Serve it with a little bit of rice, nice little green, but look at that beautiful color. Simple plating. All right, so here we have this is chicken cacciatore. Again, got polenta on the bottom. You're utilizing tomato as your acid, and really absolutely beautiful for those people who like chicken. All right, here's another version of the pork cheeks, and they just put it on a bed of greens. But more importantly, look at the gloss of that sauce. They strained it, and then it was reduced down to almost a syrup and finished with butter. This would make Chef Sophia cry with joy. And then again, notice it's the greens and the pieces of the braise. Let's see what's going on here. So what are you saying? The braising is considered a comfort food. Excellent. I like that. Very nice, Chef. All right. Here we go. Ribs. Pork. There's a beef rib or a pork rib. And just look at the thickness of the sauce. Now, I want to point something out to you guys, because this is the Janet Rorschach hint on when you see something like this, which is the separation of the sauce with the oil. A tablespoon of hot water will bring it right back together. All right, because that is a no-no. All right, let's clear that off. But I like the color on the rib. I thought that looked really good. The little chunky bits of tomato looked good. All right, we're going to go over here and look at the very famous osso buco. Let's look at that. That's what I showed you guys earlier. That was what that was. That was the osso buco. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. Last one I'm going to show you. We may have vegetarians, and I want you to know that you can do a braised tofu. Braised tofu. You have to treat it differently than everything else that we've done. If you guys are interested in trying to do this, please contact me personally, and I'll walk you through it. But otherwise, a little more advanced technique, and I wanted you guys to see it. Stop the share. Excellent. Any questions, guys? Virginia, yeah, Virginia, we'll get together. Yeah. Excellent. Jeff, do you have the cassoulet? I'd forgotten about cassoulet.
Oh yeah, got it. Wait a minute, just where I am. So sharing.
Cassoulet is one of those gifts it's perfect this time of year.
I have several. So this is the kind of cassoulet. So it's usually duck, sausage, ham with bean, and everything is cooked together.
Yep. It's a real beautiful hearty dish for this time of year, guys. And you still would end up getting a GBD duck. Didn't you say duck?
Duck, canard.
Canard, duck. Yeah. And you still get the GBD on the sausage, and you get the GBD on the duck, and then you get your mirepoix, you deglaze, you throw in your beans, you add your liquid. And it's a wonderful, wonderful braise.
But you have different, you have several processes here, because the bean, you have to soak it for 24 hours in water. You just let them get some water, cook it aside, pre-cooked, and after that you have basically everything to pre-cook first before cooking it straight away together. So you have this. You have also the beef bourguignon or beef stew, what we used to call. It's one of my favorite dish. Here, got this with the sauce going to, and now Chef Janet will be laughing. You have another one is the Alsatian choucroute.
Oh, that would be nice.
Sauerkraut. So this is more northeast France. So this is a great dish also to cook for. So here we go.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you.
No
Somebody, I think Karen asked what kind of bean. No, who was it? Somebody asked what kind of beans. There is a place called ranchogordo.com, and they sell probably some of the best cassoulet beans in the country. So Michelle said, so can we do a stew? Yes, ma'am. It's braising and stewing. And as long as you understand that if you're doing a big piece of meat, the liquid comes where? Big piece of meat, where do I get the liquid?
Over. Well, half.
Looked like sauerkraut. All right, half. But a stew, where does the liquid go?
Over.
Over it. Right on. Good job. Outstanding. Good work, people. What questions do you want to ask me? I know there's a lot.
I have one.
Yes, Jose.
I see pieces of vegetables on the. I think was the ossobuco.
Mhm.
And you say that we have to blend or ground it to make the sauce. So I have to make like vegetables on the side, or the vegetables in the middle so I can look on the sauce.
All right, well, let's think about this for a second, Jose. If I have been cooking those vegetables in my braise for 3 hours, what's the quality of those vegetables when they come out?
They don't want to look good.
Right? So what you saw were new vegetables that were added on the back end. Michelle said overcooked, exactly. That's why if you want to utilize them, blending them and then stirring them back into the sauce is the answer. Not my favorite way. It doesn't have the clarity or the texture that I enjoy, but some people don't want to waste anything, so it is a response. It's an answer. In the industry, we would just end up throwing those vegetables away, either giving them to a pig or in the disposal or compost. But for people who are conscientious at the home, that's why you may want to blend them up and add them to your sauce. Ooh, veal blanquette. You want to pull that up, Chef Mark? This is another white braise.
Okay.
One question.
Go ahead, Jose.
What about if I make the mirepoix like a very fine, like a chop it on the rubber scoop and ground it small, and then have it ready for the sauce?
Why not?
Then the sauce is gonna be chunky since the beginning.
Give it a shot. Yeah,
Thank you.
you bet. Chef Mark is saying that the veal blanquette, which he's going to show you guys, traditionally made with bechamel. There it is, kids. A white braise. Can't get more traditional than that.
So usually you have carrots, potatoes, mushrooms, and the sauce are based on bechamel, and you use citrus for the acid.
Nice. Really, really lovely. It cooks relatively fast. This is not something that you would cook for 3 hours, so the vegetables will hold up. It cooks in about an hour. Very nice. That looks good.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite, but I don't make it so often. So
It's expensive these days.
yeah.
Yeah. If you guys choose to do a crock pot, you will still have to turn your meat over if you're doing a big piece of meat. If Chef Sophia were here, she'd be showing you a ton of Mexican dishes. Sorry. I'm sorry about that, guys. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Cool. All right. I'm going to let you guys go ahead. What?
Is it we called it petit salé in French. Is it considered as the I will show you, because it could be also some kind of braise, but probably more for the vegetarian one.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, so you have to show me.
Yeah. I will. I will show you what I call. So here we are, where I am.
Yeah.
This one.
With the lentils? Oh, right. Sausage. What's the other meat in there?
Oh,
Pork
yeah.
belly?
Yeah, pork belly, yeah.
So lentils and beans, the legume cookery, you guys remember, it's a form of a braise.
This one.
That looks wonderful. I'm hungry.
So this is typical in France. This is a typical dish that we used to eat in France and any normal restaurant bistros. It's very easy to do, and it's very comfortable also.
Yeah. And in
So
the
how
middle,
would they go about with that being vegetarian?
And it can be used as a vegetarian dish if you don't add the protein, the meat protein inside. You can add some. I know I never done with tofu, but you have some vegetable protein like mushrooms. Mushrooms are protein, so you can use it to replace the meat, traditional meat.
Okay.
Can be done.
good. All right, kids. Last chance for questions. Otherwise, I'm going to let you have an early night, a gift from me to you. Woo! And Virginia, I'll send you the directions on how to do the tofu. Anybody else want that? I could do it as a general message. And nobody's taking it, so I get it. I love it, but other people don't. Have fun. Try to plan accordingly so you can give yourselves that 24 days of rest and allow yourself to get the fat off the top before you thicken your sauce. All right. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. I'm around if you need me. Thank you, Chef Mark. Bye, Virginia. Bye, Jose. Bye, Magdalena. Bye, Josh. Bye, Karina. Bye, Kelly. Oh, my goodness. We had so many people here tonight. Bye, Sabra. Bye, Stacy. Bye, Yolanda. Bye, Karen. Oh, my God. Everybody was here. This is a big night.
Yeah.
Good night, Chef.
Now
Bye.
you deserve your tea now.
My tea now. Ain't that the truth? I'm actually going to make the Casablanca right now as soon as we're done. Bye, Karina.
Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you, Chef. Talk to you later.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.